One thing to always remember when transporting cars, this is something everyone forgets. Pop off your hubcaps, stick them in the boot. Easiest way to do this, put them down, try and keep them out of the way of each other so they don't get scratched. Put them in there. Any loose trim, the best place to do, put it in the boot, just in case they lose it on the way through. And always give the drivers the keys. Okay, let's walk you around this anyway. Car's a bit unusual. The really unusual thing is it's right-hand drive. So no Electra came in right-hand drive. This is a conversion. It was converted straight after it came into New Zealand, and there's a reason for that. Most cars here are right-hand drive, so they right-hand drive converted this straight away. If you look inside the doors, you can see it's original colour. It's painted black back in the 70s. And this car was the Auckland Star car Limousine. Basically, if you came to Auckland and you were a celebrity, this is the car that picked you up. And it transferred you around. So we know this car had a long, long life of celebrity usage. Come on, dog, out of the way. And about to be more celebrity users is the dog. When it was sitting, they would turn the wall mats upside down. And of course, when you picked up Elton John, you turned your carpets over so it's a nice place to put his feet. If you look as well, in front of this car, we think it's an aftermarket air conditioner. And that would have been fitted, because keep your celebrities nice and cool. And the driver even fitted his little custom ashtray, painted a gold too. Because back in the 70s, hey, everyone smoked, right? So this car has basically seen everyone use it. From, well, we know Muhammad Ali had it in 79, and there's photos of that. And we know Elton John drove it, well, passenger in it. Rod Stewart, Deep Purple we think had it in the 80s. And basically from Sammy Davis Jr. and from the late 70s all the way through to 1993, this was used as a limousine. So everyone who was important that came here, this is what picked them up. No celebrities, so I'll just turn over the mat again. Then in 1993, it was bought by a gentleman in Tia, and he didn't touch it. He left it exactly the same as it was. He didn't do anything else to it, he just kept it exactly as it was as a limousine. The only thing he removed were the two racing mirrors off the front, and they're in the back of the car. See, I'm super practice with this. In here, big block, 434 barrel. 4 barrel, it's as big as a house. Man, this thing must have been thirsty. Huge air conditioning pump as well. Of course, this is all pre-smog, so it would have driven really well. And back in the day, there were lots of stories about this car, taking people from Auckland to Wellington and around the country. We know that Ali was in it and driven everywhere. This car, basically, when you were picked up from the airport, this is what drove you around. So you got to see the whole of New Zealand looking out the window of the Electra. It was eventually replaced with another limousine that was a Cadillac. It was also right-hand drive. But we've no idea what happened to that. I think it's deceased. So this car, this was it. You turned up, you took everyone around. There's a documentary made about it in the 80s, and it has a few little interesting bits. First of all, the super cheap 70s side marker light. There's one here. And back here. This is off a trailer. We thought it might be off an Austin Mini, but it's in fact a 1970s New Zealand trailer light. And this was put here because if you were outside driving on a motorcycle and being outright into the car, you couldn't see what was happening with the tail lights. So you couldn't see if it was going to stop or it was going to turn. So these were fitted specifically for outriders and for going through festivals. It also had a PA system fitted to it, so you could talk and move people out of the way as you drove through crowds. So when you went to the festivals in New Zealand, this went to still waters and sweet waters, this is what you went in, and this is what the car was that drove through the crowds. So pretty interesting car really, and it's off for a full restoration now to a really good gentleman in Auckland. So it leaves tomorrow, so this is the first time we've actually got it ready to go. After 20 years we got it to run and drive. We replaced the master cylinder, got it to drive and stop, did a little bit more work on it just to get it up and running, but we haven't touched it. We haven't touched the bodywork, we haven't touched the paint, we haven't even cleaned it properly. This is how it came. It has its own fitted car cover in the back. But an amazing car really. What a history, you know, just a really, really unusual history. It's got the clamped hand wipers, and of course these are throwbacks to the vent ports of the original Electras, Roadmasters. Because Buick used to come with, we call them vent ports, holes, here, fake holes. But they put them there to make it seem like it was faster. This is the last of the Buicks really that came with that. They might have done it a little bit later in the Roadmasters, but the Electra 225 was the big car for the year. And this car is big, really big. And it's got a really important presence to it too. So this is why they liked it so much and used it for a limo so long time. Why? What the Americans thought of when they came here, and when we got picked up from the airport with Buick, I don't know. If you're a super celebrity, I guess you would have been in Rolls and all kinds of things, but this was the one you got in Auckland. So I'm really pleased to have sent it to a really good home where it's going to get really well restored. And we'll follow its progress, and I'll take you along and show you it once it's been finished. Because this thing it's an important piece of history, so I'm glad it's been the same.